Recording in
That's
progress.
good. Happy to have y'all all here. We'll start off by just thanking Four States Fair for having us a place to host it, and Chris Witt and the rest of the group at Able and Arkansas Cattlemen's. This has been a really, really good event so far. From where we're sitting, those of you that are listening online, it's pretty neat. We're overlooking the arena where all the kids been participating in different events and still going on right now throughout the day today, and where they'll have their awards presentation here in a little bit. I'm really tickled to get to be able to be a part of this, because this is what our beef, the next generation of beef leaders is participating in this stuff, and I'm really happy that we're getting to be a part of that. So thank you to them, Four States Fair, for getting that. You know, of course, Cattlemen Association and Chris and the rest of David for doing that as well. So, all right, kind of done with introductions at this point. You should have a copy of the minutes in our packet. I'll give you a minute to look over that, and then I'll entertain a motion to accept those.
I'll make a motion to accept as printed.
Okay, we have Sam with a motion. We have a second.
Second.
Do we have any further discussion? All right, all in favor, say aye. Those opposed, motion carries. The next thing up on the our agenda would be 2B, approval of board reimbursements. That will be inside your packet. It's not, there's not anything, okay?
It's not making approval or reimbursing you for this.
Okay.
And all that stuff.
Yeah, so we just need a motion for recent travel. Anything that we have, we got to approve that. So need a motion in a second to approve our travel.
Make a motion.
We got Rob Campbell with the motion,
Second.
Michael with the second. Any further discussion about that? If not, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right, motion carries. Then we had the financial report, and I think we're gonna have a little bit of deviation. Tillman's gonna give us a little information.
I think Anusa actually was able to get on the call.
Okay, I'm sorry, I didn't hear that. Anusa, do you have anything that you'd like to highlight for us? We have it here in our packets. If everybody
Yes.
will turn to that page.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Chairman and members. So on the financial report for the period ending January 31st, 2026, as you can see, total beef assessment through the end of this reporting period total up to $472,724, or 59% of the budget collected so far. On the expenses, remittances to the National Beef Promotion and Research Board total up to $233,000, and $26,336 went to other state beef councils. On the total, so that we ended up with a total expenditures of $393,630, ending with a fund balance at January 31st, 2026 of $383,025, with an established reserve of $90,000 and an estimated remittance to other qualified state beef councils and cattlemen promotion of $33,978. We're estimating the net available balance at January 31st to be right at $327,000. So that concludes the financial report.
Did anybody got anything that they like to comment or got a question for Newsom? I will say, if you guys will turn to the next page, just something that we always talk about is we only got, a couple of up airs in the last, 7 months, only 2 up airs and, 5 down. We're running, what is that number there, Rob? 6.8% down from last year at this point. See some really kind of crazy things is in, December or, November. We had a huge, decrease and then a big increase during December. I don't understand why. So that's a big difference when you go from 34,000 down to, or 34% down to 28% up. I just wonder if it's something to do with the, reporting, or is it really that, I don't remember anything happening in November or December that would cause a big swing there for a couple of weeks. Do you guys know of anything?
Them tax time. Give them in there for.
Yeah, but that usually, it would be based on, other averages. It just seems really strange. That was the only thing that I noticed I was looking at was, that's kind of a really, really big, swing.
Yeah.
She's
Almost like an outlier.
Yeah.
I don't understand that.
That's a little bit, strange because all the other ones are kind of within range except those 2 months. So, I know. So do you know of anything that was any different on those 2 months, maybe?
All I can just, if I have to guess, the tax year coupled with just the timing of the assessments and being submitted to DFA could be one of the factor why it's showing that difference. So the end of the tax year being December, so maybe holding off on those assessments and doing them, reporting those assessments in January. So we could be maybe the January figures way up compared to not the January figures and February figures being way up compared to the year before.
Well, I just thought it was really interesting because I've never before. Sam, have you ever seen one where we had that much difference from month to month? I was just curious if something, sometimes when we had a bad snowstorm in my last couple of weeks, we did have 2 weeks, that pretty much canceled all the sales there in January one week, and then the next week wasn't even very good still. But I just was kind of curious if anybody knew anything why.
It's usually been where we've had severe weather
Yeah.
related incidents.
Yeah, but I've just never seen a negative 34% followed by 23% positive in one deal. So that,
I think it was more due to the duration of that ice
yes,
than it was anything.
that was would be in, of course, the next go around. So that would be interesting to see.
Gentlemen, we've also got Miss Betty Garner on the Zoom
Okay.
with Cattlewoman's.
Yes,
With out-of-state sales, that originate from South, are they remitted monthly or quarterly?
they're supposed to be every month, but now it also could have been something very simple as one day was behind or something, and then a bunch of them you get because you take as high as cattle are. It's gonna be a lot of people selling them out of at a Joplin or Oklahoma City or somewhere like that, and if they were a day behind, it could have caused that maybe. I was just curious if they had anything that they knew the reason.
Hey, Caleb, is it not because I think the sale fell so close to Christmas that week? A lot of sales canceled that week, and they sold a bunch of cattle toward the first of the month.
Well, see, but yeah, okay, that'd be just the opposite on this deal. This would be like there was 34% less in November in 2023 or 28, I can't see.
23.8.
23.8 that was sold at more in December than the previous.
Which my
year.
sale in December was, my two sales they were bigger than the sales we had in
Yeah.
November. But the price went up too a little bit between those two
That,
months.
that very well could have been it, but we did have some swing because that's when they made the deal about importing beef there. In October,
Yeah.
November.
Yep.
That very well could be it. I just,
Yeah, I think that was the
never
first,
really noticed it like that.
the first announcement from the
25,000 head,
president.
it ain't that of a significant difference, I don't guess, but that still, seems something at least, noteworthy to think about and look at. Has anybody else got anything on the financials, before we take a motion to receive the filing?
Make a motion to approve as presented.
We have a motion, do I have a second?
Right.
All right, we have a motion and second, any further discussion?
We have a hand up on Zoom.
Okay, who's got their hand?
It's a phone number. Not sure.
What's the number?
So 870-247-0721.
Well, this is okay, if you and Mike, if y'all can hear, we're good to go, to proceed with the vote unless y'all have any questions.
I'm good. I can hear. I'm good.
Okay, all right, so
No
all in
questions.
favor, say aye.
I,
Those opposed? Motion carries. All right, well, that takes care of that portion of things. Next thing is the fun stuff, getting to figure out what's been happening out there. And Rob, I don't know if you're going to kick this on down to Sam since he stood in for you, or you're gonna give the report to
I'm gonna,
the Federation.
I was unable to attend the NCBA check off meeting at Nashville, so Sam stood in for me, which I greatly appreciate.
Well, you was where you needed to be with, your daughter going through,
Homecoming.
homecoming. So, we would have given you a pretty hard time,
Yeah, if you would
not to mention what you would have gotten from home.
Yeah.
We elected a new set of officers at the, both Federation and Policy. There was not, any critical or unexpected discussions this time. Everything proceeded pretty smoothly. So, not really a whole lot to report.
Good deal. All right, the next one up is a Cattlemen's Beef Board report, and I'm gonna give that, we, met during, CattleCon there, came in on Monday and, had lots of, meetings. I was, I guess fortunate enough, I got reelected to the executive committee of the Cattlemen's Beef Board. This will be starting my last year on the, Cattlemen's Beef Board, and, I got, chosen to be on the executive committee again this time, so we have got lots of things going on there. Of course, everybody knows, just like we are here in Arkansas, once again, the cattle numbers are way down, and when we have cattle numbers that are falling, what happens is we don't have near as much money for people that are wanting to do it for projects, and you know that they also elected a new operating committee, and they've been tasked with, trying to trim a large percentage of the budget again this year after having to do a pretty big hit, last year. So, cattle numbers are still falling. The rebuild is not started, and, the only thing that is saving us, on the funding part is, we just don't have enough, so they're making a lot of money on the imports. So their imports are pay the check off, and it's not a per head basis because they come in, it's a formula that's very favorable. And the other thing is the dairy industry right now is also having so many beef on dairy that they're selling a lot of those that that most of the time would be retained even for dairy herd and it's helping our numbers quite a bit as well. Just trying to keep that going. So, it would be really critical if it wasn't for, the imports paying their part of the checkoff and helping us on the national standpoint. Um, once again, we still don't have anybody else, from Arkansas on there yet. Hopefully, it's, coming soon. Everybody, should have officially turned out a couple of weeks ago. But president has not appointed the new members yet. I think we have like 28 people that need to be appointed or reappointments, just hanging out there. And, they, I guess, it's one of those things that's pretty openly, because we talked about it in our open meeting, but part of the problem, there is the undersecretary in the Department of Ag that does this, former boss, he was chief of staff for a senator in Utah that was a big RCAF guy, and he was dragging his feet just on purpose, they do believe, but he's got a different position. So we had somebody new that started February 1st. However, they are way behind on appointments. So it's kind of a interesting deal. We hope that we get those all by our next executive committee meeting there in March, because if we don't, it makes things really, really awkward on the way that everything operates. So hopefully, we'll get a new member from Arkansas coming up, just in the next few days. Michelle, you hadn't heard, they haven't,
They have not even interviewed the nominees.
they haven't even interviewed the nominees yet. They promised us that, by the March the 7th, that, it would try to get done, but Washington DC, I know how, slow that moves. So, they're telling us it's very well likely will not happen. And if they have not even interviewed our nominees yet from Arkansas, there's not a very good chance that'll happen. So, that's about the extent of the Cattlemen's Beef Board stuff. Just mainly trying to, get new members appointed and, trying to figure out how to operate with a whole lot less money than we've been accustomed to for several years. So. Mike, are you online there? Do you have anything to report from, USMEF?
Yes, sir. I am online. No, sir, there is nothing new to report. Kind of quiet on the home front. The next scheduled meeting is in May in Oklahoma City, May 20th or something. I'll get those dates to Tillman, but no, sir, nothing new to report.
Okay. All right. Hang on just a second. I'm gonna call down to the bottom and see if I can get there. Hey, we're in the meeting up above the office here. Could you walk in there to the office and see if I can turn the music off if it just came on? We're trying to have it. See if you can. The office below us here. Just ask if I can turn the music off upstairs. Thank you. Dr. Looper.
Yes, sir.
You're up next.
All right, very good. Couple of things, and Dr. Nancy is here on the ground somewhere. She'd probably give an update. I thought I started walking across the.
She said she was going to, make it up here. She said if she could do her report whenever she needed to.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's what she told me. So just let her know.
Okay, very good. We're telling her right now. I just texted her, said, get here. But, so as you know, obviously the Beef Quiz Bowl here, for basically the qualifiers next Friday in Fayetteville, there'll be 15 teams up there. And so we encourage and invite everyone, if you're in that part of the world, please come by and see us at the Falling Whitaker Animal Science Center. And then obviously those qualifiers make their way to the Arkansas Cattlemen's annual trade show and convention this year in Fort Smith. And so looking forward to that.
I'd just like to comment on that. Well, I've heard lots and lots of good feedback. That's one of the things that we sponsor, is having these in a regional deal that gives opportunities for some people that maybe wouldn't have participated because they don't have to go to Fayetteville, and awesome that get to do it, the finals at the Cattlemen's Convention. So we really appreciate your guys getting that chain, so that will work.
Well, Allison Herman's here on the ground here as well, so she's kudos to her because she kind of had that thought process and putting it forward. So you're exactly right. We're always conflicted about how to get people more involved with without having to drive 3.5, 4 hours up to Fayetteville. And so I think that's a good way to do it for sure. Derek Ocettabrada sent me some updates on his dry aging survey. It's currently, the report is being written. And he will send that for publication soon. So you'll see a final report on the dry aging research project that this council funded. Toxic Fescue project has been completed. And I'll get you a report soon on that. The two new projects, both ongoing, the funds have not been received. I know Tillman's been in contact with our group, Mike Cisco and Josh Boyce there in our grants office. And so things seem to move even slower now in the academic world than they've ever done before in the past. And so it's a little bit maddening. The parabiotic and the dry aging cabinet microbiome, some of that work is ongoing anyway. What we do is we bankroll that out of the department and then we just reimburse ourselves and the council funds when they get there. It's a way we've done it for years. And so at any point we figure we've got the money coming, but we want to try to get those folks, get the work done so we can get this back in a timely manner. Our experiment station director, Jay Mulvey, always reminds me that using commodity board funding is so we can do real quick, real time, responses to issues in the industry. And so we don't want to hang on to the money for 2 years, 3 years, those kind of things. We want to get that back to you as soon as possible. So we try to do that. I know that I saw on the agenda that the Alpha-Gal agreement is going to be signed today. And so that's something that Dr. Yancey is here. She can speak to that. I know that the product's been purchased there. BQA, Kirsten's around somewhere on the grounds as well with Allie. I know that there's a program going on here in this part of the state where Danny Griffin and others are doing BQA. You're aware of that, the Big Quality Assurance series over a 4-week period. And so at the end of that, producers will be BQA certified. So obviously this council is always involved in the funding of the BQA program. So yeah,
They did some yesterday and this afternoon again, I guess, didn't they?
I'm getting ready to go down to the.
That's awesome. That's good. Because, there's like Rob Swat that works with the virtual academy. I know several of those kids are doing that. My son homeschooled and is doing that, it kind of gives besides, a lot, I know that there is a large number of ag chapters that are doing that as far as the youth stuff as well, but we really appreciate a good way for a lot of them to get a chance to do it in a real environment instead of just getting online and taking it.
So I'll bet Dr. Yancey speak to the Alpha-Gal if you want to give him slide up.
So the Alpha-Gal, I understand there's signed contracts today. We, like Dr. Lucas said, we purchased that product, got it shipped down to Texas A&M. It worked out really well. The scientist was here for Christmas. So she took it back with her to Texas A&M and should be already running that. As far as the surveys go, there's again, like you said, everything run a little slow. Anytime we do anything that includes consumers or people at all, we have to run institutional review board, has to go by our IRB committee. And man, I hadn't done one of those in a long time and it has bogged down. But I've got a few corrections to make to my surveys and my emails that I send back to them. And I need to respond to their questions about those. It's nothing big. It's just, I need to get in there and do it. And we should have an expedited review on that. Should be able to get those rolling really, really quick. So, we may still not be, we're behind on our timeline for lots of reasons on that, but we should be able to catch up pretty quick once we get all the boxes checked.
Okay.
So.
Let's talk about this one.
Oh, yeah. So something else that I visited, I break my mind with last night, and we're doing the Boots Brews and Barbecue, which is it's a Kansas City Barbecue Society contest. And I don't know if y'all have ever been around the Kansas City Barbecue Society contest. They're really interesting. Barbecue is like a cult to some people, and they have these contests that are held all over the country, and and teams that may be restaurants, may just be standalone teams. They travel around and they go to these contests and they accumulate points. And so we're hosting one, and ours is March 14th there at Pauline Whitaker. When we first started doing this, I thought, oh, barbecue contest, that'll be fun. We'll walk around, we'll eat barbecue, we'll visit with people about barbecue. It is not a public event. The actual contest part, they don't just let anybody come in there and eat barbecue all they want. Unfortunately, but you can add a public event that goes along with that. And so that's what we've done. And so we're going to have the night before, we're going to have a public event that's going to include, a barbecue contest that'll be, like a People's Choice barbecue. There'll be brews and beers available for folks to drink. We're gonna have live music. I don't know if anybody has been to Ridgewood Brothers Barbecue in Russellville. Grant Hall is there, one of their main barbecue guys. He's gonna come and do a little barbecue demo, 45 minutes of learning about barbecue from a master. And then we're gonna have some other educational events, and that's what I was visiting with her about. We're gonna try to have the beef council there, do some educational materials, and also open that up to pork and lamb. The goat people haven't really responded, but have some of our proteins there to offer, educate folks about our different proteins that we produce in Arkansas. And then we'll have the barbecue People's Choice contest, and then the beef part of that, really exciting. We're going to have a ribeye cook-off contest. So we've invited 5 teams that are kind of celebrity teams in the barbecue world, and they're going to come and compete in our ribeye cook-off. And so we'll provide them with 2 ribeye steaks, and they're going to have, I believe it's an hour and a half to prepare and cook the ribeye that we provide, a carbohydrates side, and then a dessert, I believe. And they'll provide plates. They'll have 2 plates for each team. 1 plate will be judged by celebrity judges. We've got Miss Rodeo of the Ozarks, and then a former Razorback football player, Dave Basil, and we've got some invitations out to some other folks for those celebrity guests. They're gonna eat the ribeyes and then select a grand champion ribeye, Boots Brews and Barbecue Boss Hog Ribeye Contest, I think is what it's called. We added a fun little title to it. They've got a banner. There's a cash prize.
$1,000 winner take.
Yeah. So and that's going to happen at that public event, so folks can come and watch them prepare. And then the other plate that those teams prepare, we're going to auction those off. And so as a fundraiser for our clubs, we're going to have the auction. We'll have the live auction for the plates. We'll have a silent auction for some other items. And then of course we'll charge tickets for folks to get into the event and try the different barbecues, see the different speakers and that type of stuff as a fundraiser for our club. A lot of that's sponsored. Dr. Looper has been working on sponsorships for that. So we did one last year that the schedule was a little bit different. We didn't have the ribeye contest with that one. We've added a few things to it this year. Last year was a really successful event, especially for being our first year. And we feel like that's something that it's gonna be great for getting us in front of the public and kind of letting people know, hey, Arkansas has an animal science department, and we make protein. We help Arkansas producers produce good protein, and that's our job. And showcase some of our products and things like that, and our students. We're gonna have some of the students there to showcase them and see the good things that we're doing in Arkansas Department of Animal Science. So that's the public event is Friday the 13th. And then I didn't set the date, someone else did. And then the barbecue contest where the teams will actually come and present theirs for the judges will be Saturday on the 14th. And we'd love to have any of y'all there for any of those things.
You can get some tickets free.
Yeah. Yeah, we can get you some tickets.
Rob, you're close enough. That sounds like something.
Make
that
sure
you-
David Basil didn't ask for ketchup with his steak.
Is that right?
I think he said something.
Yeah,
Or on the radio.
yeah, he said that on the, I've heard him say that.
Yeah. So I don't know, we just talking research now, or we talking other stuff, right?
You can, so you got any quiz bowl or anything else you need to update?
Well, so I think you already talked about Beef Quiz Bowl. That's not really my baby, but well, they had 3 teams here. I think they've got 15 teams lined up for next weekend. The kids did great today. It's amazing how much stuff they know. We did an extra round with them here because they saw fewer rounds, so we did some extra rounds. So the kids got to see more questions. We hit the same day as a livestock or as a judging contest in Center Point. And I think that cost us some FFA teams. So, once the dust settles on everything, we might reschedule this and do it like maybe last night or do something a little different, but try to get more teams. But this one, it's new. So yeah, Beef Quiz Bowl is doing great. The Meats Quiz Bowl kids have been meeting. I've got a group of those meeting and practicing. 6 or 8 of those kids coming pretty regularly. It's a great way to recruit new scientists, new kids doing Quiz Bowl stuff. I wish our new faculty member was here, Dr. Zena Herrera. You guys may remember her as Zena Hicks. Years ago, she was a Meats Quiz Bowl kid. Came with me and did some honors undergraduate research that was funded by the Beef Council. Came back and I wrote a grant presented to you guys that was funded when she was still an undergraduate student, and now she's a faculty member with us. And so I'm excited about all the new things she's going to do. She and I are working together on some of the meats education money to get some ribs for the meat judging contest. She's got contacts at universities that I don't have contacts at, so we're working together to have some product for our meat quiz bowl contest, our meat judging contest. Her husband works for Tyson, and he's going to help us with some of that product too for the judging contest. That's meats education, and then I haven't had a chance to ask Michelle about the beef short course, if we've got cattle coming. I think it was in the magazine that it closes soon. Okay, yeah, so we should be looking to get some cattle selected, get those cattle on feed for next year's beef short course. The beef short course in November went great from my perspective, it went really, really good. Everybody had a great experience.
What's the dates on this one? November 8th or 9th?
No, I think it's early this year. It's
Second, third,
it's second, third, and fourth, which falls during election every time. We tried to move it, and that made it hard, and vote early, it's okay. What else? I think that's all I have.
Well, that's good.
I appreciate y'all. This has been a phenomenal event. I don't know. This ABLE has been a phenomenal event. As a mom, I really enjoyed it. Kids are enjoying it. And if you have a chance, you need to go over there and see that Ag Learning Center.
We're going to that. We're going to tour that after we get.
Yeah, man, that's a really cool. It's a really cool place. And I've been hearing about it for years. And it's a really cool deal. We're in there for the contests today. So.
Thank you. Is that all you got, Dr. Luke?
Oh, yeah.
All right. We're going to deviate just a little bit. Chris Witt just walked in. He's the one that's putting on this deal, and he visited with us a little bit. I'm going to let him just address us just a second and tell us about what's happened this week and how much we have what they've done. So go ahead.
Yeah, thank you guys. It remains a lot for us. You having your meeting here too. I think that's a step in the right direction. A lot of the students got to put some faces with some names and get to learn some people. So when they're out with their ag kids, they can name drop a little bit. So that's always important. When I met with you guys, back in the spring, we talked about kind of what we envisioned and what was going to happen. We was hoping right around we could get 80 to 100 kids. We thought we'd be pretty good. we could be 15 to 20 in the pin show would be pretty good. And then, you know, total, we could get maybe 150 kids here. We thought that would probably be a win. We end up with 133 kids go through the leadership contest. We end up with 26 pins. And time you put in the AJCA show at the end of the week with the entries they got there, we're gonna be a little over 300 kids. You know, I would like to say that, I don't know how much work I did on this. We had a lot of help. You know, Norley, the cattleman's excellent. She's a hand. Really enjoyed having her here. Harmon, Allison Harmon with 4-H, our extension there. I don't know what you guys pay her, but I didn't know, but, probably try to get her a raise. And she brought Kristen, some of them, you know, that's with her. And those ladies have been phenomenal. The one thing is, and some of you guys, this is probably your first time to this fairgrounds. This fairgrounds is phenomenal. I'm one of those guys, I want it to look a certain way because I'm not one of those kind of guys that's my way or the highway kind of guy, but I have a vision. I want to head in that direction. We set these panels up for a judging contest. And we've done reconfigured them now, but we got them set up with about 3 hours. Just wasn't the way I wanted them. And they set them exactly like I told them. I told the guy, I said, this thing working. And I said, but I'll make it work. I can make it. He said, nope. We tore them all down. He took his guys to where one of them down, had to rebuild them. I felt so bad. We just waited 3 hours work. But when they got that put up, he put me them runways around. We did a lot of things that you probably don't have to do. It's kind of like cooking a steak. You ain't got to cook it on a grill, but it's worth it when you do, you know? So I told Norley and some of them guys, I said, when doing the little things, we'll know when we did right. We had a kid walk in that door and he's like, he looked at his teacher and he goes, this ain't the normal judging contest. Now you know you've done things right, okay? We thought it looked pretty good here. ADLE's here. We've had the public speakers. We've had people from Texas Youth Expo here, Arkansas Youth Expo, you know, Cattlemen's, all these guys have come together and they've got to network together and shared ideas. We've learned some stuff from the Texas guys and they've learned some stuff from us. This, I'm real proud of where we're at, okay? I'm real proud of where we're at. I'm probably not going to be proud of this if this is 5 years from now. And I don't think it will be. I was telling Sam earlier, I said, I got to get the radio fixed in my tractor because if I don't, I got too much time to think. Some things that we've already talked about adding, that's probably a definite that we are going to add. We're going to have a mechanics contest for next year, and it has to be something to use in the beef industry. So you can't make a pig crate, you know, it's got to be something that could a grill, or it can be a head gate or stuff like that for the beef industry. That's going to be added next year. We're adding a social media contest where kids make a 10-second, I don't know, 15-second, whatever they do, a little selfie deal they put on Facebook. We'll judge them before. And then at our meet and greet last night, which I wish all y'all could have been here, I really thought we might have 4 kids standing there with a bunch of strawberries and me and killing 2 hours, but it wasn't. It was awesome. There's 100 people here. And it wasn't just, I told them, I said, we only set up enough tables for 50, and that was by design. I don't want you sitting down. I want the kids mingling. And we saw kids taking selfies at the backdrops, talking to the Scott Sullivan's here at the Cattlemen's, and he got to meet so many of those people. You guys don't realize that when those kids talk to you, you know, you're their hero. There's a lot of little girls up there looking up to Michelle. You know, they want to be her when they grow up. You know, I mean, so just to have the time to talk to them, and Addie was here, and that get to talk to those guys, that means a lot to those kids. So I think that was a positive for us. Next year, we're talking about adding a beef cook-off, like you guys were just talking about. We're going to put a little different spin on it. I think we've, and kudos to you guys for doing the hamburger and the barbecue and the steak cook-off. And that's awesome. We need all that stuff. I think we've kind of neglected maybe our high school kids and our college kids. My daughter's in college. She can't afford to buy steak. Dude, she's living off hamburger, maybe. Okay. So we're going to do a college dorm room cooking. You got to use anything that can be in the dorm room. Crock pot, air fryer, hot plate, that kind of stuff. We're going to do that in here, and we're going to try to use some of that food to serve at our meet and greet, okay? So I'd like to, and we don't have all the details worked out. I want to do it for high schools and I want to do it for colleges. Reach out to the colleges, get U of A to send a team, SAU to send a team,
Arkansas Tech.
Tech, ASU, all these. We had 4 colleges represented here this time that was come and help work. U of A was here, Rich Mountain. We had some kids from Tech and had some kids from SAU to show up and help with this. And, you know, they got to wear their school colors and it's kind of cool that the kids could see college kids. But that we're planning on adding that to our deal. We've got our reward trip coming up. The top 5 kids in this deal get a reward trip. We haven't named where we're going because we don't know who wins it. And everybody says, well, you're going to give it a good, really cool prize if the right kid wins and not a cool prize. No, that's not the ticket. If we have 5 kids that win and they're all maybe not registered kids, you know, not registered cow kids, they're, you know, maybe they're interested in beef science in terms of, you know, we're going to go to more, you know, kill plants and stuff like that. If they're more interested in nutrition, we're going to try to hit, you know, some feed meals and that type of stuff. So we're going to try to tailor the trip to the kid. We want them to have a good experience. I was telling earlier, somebody, we've got a good problem right now. Our good problem to have is next year, we are not equipped for this. We struggled yesterday with some stuff, getting it all in time-wise, because we didn't know how long the things would take. Now we do. We've got a little better idea of what it was. Our skillathon run a little bit long with 60 kids. From everybody, the feedback that I've got and the ag teachers and what they've said, we're probably looking instead of that division that had 60s, probably gonna have 200 in it. So obviously that's gonna be a big problem, and that's a good problem. We want that. We've got enough pens back here. That pen heifer show to get to be 100, and we're still okay. We can handle 200 kids, but we can't handle it the way we did it this year. Now the good news is, we're not gonna think about next year until next Friday. So once I get this behind me, then next Friday, we'll start planning on next year. And it takes, Michelle will tell you, it takes a minute to plan this. And a lot of it is this year was hard to plan because I felt stupid the first time I met with you guys and y'all asked me what's gonna happen. I'm like, I don't know. And it was just being honest. I really don't know. The good thing about this is with ag teachers that we met here, we had one message that was our message, and it was with everybody that worked here, whether it be the 4-H or Vita Firm or the cattlemen there. We were kids coming together to support beef and work with all the industries and bring them together. Okay. I didn't want AYE here and ABLE here and Junior Cattlemen's here and Cattlemen's here and the beef deal. We wanted everybody in a beach ball, kind of everybody's working together. And I saw those guys and I give them some ideas and ag teachers about, you know, we've all, as coordinators of these events, we've always worried about how much money can we suck out of something? How can we get that money to us? But we never have focused on how can we get back into give back. And we got some ideas about we're starting to give back. And that's one reason we're kind of wanting to do that beef cook-off. You know, we need to start doing that to get those out there. If we leave here and those kids never think about cooking beef again, or they never think about beef industry again, we've really wasted 180 days and thousands of dollars, you know, because I could probably stay home and have been a lot more rested than I am this week. But I can tell by the conversations that we've heard and what we're seeing on social media, these kids are starting to put some things together. I won't take much of your time, but I will tell you one thing that we did that and it was just by accident that it happened. I'm so thankful did. We had 7 juniors that entered. And when I'm talking juniors now in this deal, that's under 9. Okay. So we had 9 to 5-year-olds that all give speeches, that all give sales talks, that all did the skillathon, that showed cattle, that did the judging. And every one of them said, I've never done it before. I don't want to do it. I don't know anything about it. We took adult people, college kids, and put them with them. And when those kids come out, they're like, dude, we'll do that again next year. So we didn't just throw them in there. Because to be honest with you, you wouldn't tell the parents this, I care less who wins. Okay. I don't care if you win a prize, you don't. That's not what it's about. It doesn't matter who wins. It's about who can take it to the next level and get better and enjoy it. This was all about wanting kids to enjoy some things. And I think now that they kind of put enjoying with being in the beef industry, and hopefully we've kind of bridged that gap. And a lot of it's because of the money you guys put through that. And I appreciated that. Yeah. Any questions about anything of what we've done or where we spent money or where we didn't spend money?
Just start planning quickly.
That's it. Yeah.
Well, you know, I will just say, I've been very impressed. I've had the misfortune, me and Chris worked together for 10 years. The whole 10 years we worked together, he's worked more on this than he did the 10 years. But I think it's very important, and we do not have very many opportunities. There's a beef industry to get the kids involved, and this is one of them. Looks good. Looks good.
Appreciate y'all. And we did hire a photographer. They've been here all week, so we'll have all that stuff on our website. Any of the colleges that want to download some pictures, Beef Council, they're paid for. So they're on our for free. Use them in any magazines you want, or whatever, just download them and they're good to go. So yeah, we're gonna have our awards deal at 4. If 1, 2, 5, and how many of you want to stand behind your wooden cutout, they'll get all the pictures for that too, for the awards deal. But anyway. All right, I'm gonna go put out some more fires. Thank y'all.
Thank you, Chris.
All right, next up is Arkansas Tech. Do we have anybody from Arkansas Tech? An update from them? Okay, we'll sweat talk long enough, that worked out with them. Cattle Women's, were they gonna give a report on Zoom?
Miss Betty was here, or was on.
It says Miss Kathy might give one, but
Betty's on.
Can you hear me?
yes, ma'am.
Okay. I do have a short.
Okay.
We have given programs to 4 schools, 3 high schools, and 1 elementary. We have 4 more programs to give before the end of March. And basically that's it in a nutshell.
Okay, all right. Well, thank you for the information. Thank you for doing that. It's always good anytime we can get that stuff going there. Up next will be Michelle. Give us a cattleman's report.
Yep, and I'll scoot up so they Zoom can hear us. So we have not done much since we saw y'all in December. It feels like not that long ago, at the Farm Bureau Convention. But I do want to remind everybody we're getting ready to kick off our area conferences. And so those will kick off in March. All 9 areas. We will have a free ribeye steak dinner. Beef Council will have a booth at each of the 9 areas. Mindy, I'm sure, will be working it, but if your area, you would like to come and
You want to go to Tillman, you're
Yeah.
grinning.
yeah, if you want to come to your, at least come to your area and eat, but if you want to come and help Mindy out, I'm sure she would not complain either. It's a great time to get in front of producers. You'll see about almost, last year, I think we had a little over 2,500 producers come out throughout the month. And so it's a great time to answer questions about the Beef Council directly from the people that are on the Beef Council making the decisions. Not that Mindy can't do it, but having that producer focus is a great opportunity to take advantage of it. Please come and attend. We'll be having those throughout the month of March, sponsored by Watkins Cattle Company this year. The steaks are actually coming from a local Arkansas, not a restaurant, a local Arkansas grocery store. And so one of our members is able to provide those steaks for us this year. So we're really looking forward to that. We have selected this next round of ACLC participants. Since we met in December, we graduated the last group of 18 ACLC graduates. I think it's like the 14th class we've done. So we've graduated those. We've started the new class, starts next week, actually on Monday, with a legislative policy meeting. And so we'll kick off with 21 participants in this year's class. Great opportunity, really looking forward to that. Pending decisions. And the Beef Council traditionally sponsors the media training course in September. And so we will have the opportunity for the Beef Council to come in at that point and present and talk with the producers as Young Cattlemen about the beef council and what y'all are working on. Other than that, looking at convention, we've already talked about it. You'll have Beef Quiz Bowl there. We will be in Fort Smith this year for the first time in 9 years. We'll be in Fort Smith August 6th through the 8th. We hope to see y'all there. Other than that, the only other big news we have is we will have the drive in the magazine. So if you have not noticed, we've been putting the drive in every time it comes out, every quarter, polybagged in with the ACB magazine. So again, a great way for us to touch base with our members, sharing what the Beef Council is doing. So we're very grateful for that partnership. Y'all pay for the postage and the polybagging of it, but it goes out to all of our members. So we'll have that this month. But then the last announcement that I have is that the ACA will be moving effective next week, in the next couple of weeks, whenever we get back in the office. We will be moving from our building, executive court, we're moving downtown Little Rock. And so we'll be in the neighborhood with the Poultry Federation and the rest of what feels like the rest of the barnyard there in the Capitol area. So really looking forward to it. So if you come and look for us, let us know that we'll let her know that we'll be a little bit further down. So with that, any questions? Perfect. Thank you.
All right, Addie, you're up next. If y'all remember Addie at the new beef commodity chair at Farm Bureau, she'd been on the job had you even started yet? Last time we had a meeting, or was that your first day?
It was my first week, yeah.
Your first week. So she is a veteran at this point of that division. So we recently just had some commodity division stuff. She's going to give us a little update on that.
Yeah, so earlier this week we did that, and in the beef division we had 40 people there, so that was pretty good. You know more on that?
Yeah, just tell us what kind of we talked about.
We had James Mitchell from the U of A come in and give a market outlook report. And then we kind of talked about the bovine filariasis, that disease that they're getting from the ticks. We kind of talked about maybe some potential policy on that.
Okay.
Yeah. And then I'll also tell you guys about the Ag Leaders program that they're doing. That's Jennifer Craig. So if you have any questions, you'd ask her. But they're having info sessions across the state, couple more this month and then some in March. So if you know anybody, young people or old people, just people kind of getting started is their target audience. So. Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Addie. The folks from Four States Fair, we're going to let them go right before we get ready they're going to give us a tour and all that. So, we'll get to that in just a minute. You're up next.
So as far as council activities are concerned, want to report and let y'all know that, first of all, we're working on getting the applications for proposals this year, getting that all approved so we can go live with that. As soon as those do go live, there'll be a press release to let everybody know. So anybody that's going to be submitting proposals, keep an eye out for that press release. Wanted to let y'all know that we're finalizing the agreements for sponsorship with the Northwest Arkansas Naturals. And it's looking like there's a very good possibility that there's going to be a Father's Day event that the council might be sponsoring for them. Also working on finalizing the agreement with Arkansas Travelers. So they are redoing their outfield. And in doing that, all of the old signs, including the one that the council did have there, are all going to be gone. The agreement that we're working on right now is actually going to be a much bigger sign in right field to replace it. They had some other options for some things that would take place during games, but kind of the outlook we had is if you have a sign in right field, it doesn't matter if it's a Travelers game or what event it is. If it's going on in Dickey Stevens Field, that sign is still sitting there and everybody can see it. So, and with this one, I believe it's going to have the QR code that'll take you directly to y'all's website. That said, the other thing to speak on is having come back from the national convention. And of course, the big talk of the town at the convention was the change in the dietary guidelines, where It's no longer grains on top, it's protein on top. And so that's something that is a very big win for cattle producers. And actually there was a little bit of a surprise for those of you who weren't there. Secretary Kennedy decided to show up on Thursday and give a talk to everybody there. And that was the primary thing he was there for. And the main message that really he had to share was stop eating processed food and start eating real food. And there again, that message is one that does help our producers, because that's pushing the product that they're all raising. That said, we had a really good Region 4 meeting with Texas and Oklahoma. Dr. Shailene McNeil actually came in and spoke with all of us, which for those of you who don't know or are not aware, she is a nutritionist that works for National Cattlemen's Beef Association. And so she was actually able to come in and speak towards all of the different mechanics that went into getting those dietary guidelines changed to the way that they are now. And of course, in that, it took tons and tons of research. It took tons of work, not only on the national side of bringing these thought leaders together, but all the way down to your state beef councils. And that's what, Molly, who's with Texas, spoke towards all the research. Heather with Oklahoma talked about the ground game that the councils play in. And actually, as a matter of fact, we had the Arkansas nutritionists and dietitians meeting that's coming up here shortly that we'll be at. And then, the work that the folks on the national end do, you can't minimize that. Because the part that I spoke to during that meeting was the Nourish Now event that took place here in Arkansas in 2024. That event was hosted by Dr. Mario Ferruzzi, who is currently with Virginia Tech, but at that time he was the head nutritionist for UAMS, or for the pediatric side of it. He was also over the Pediatric Nutrition and Research Center there at Arkansas Children's. But folks, you had everybody in the world thought leader wise in that room. There was a guy there from Penn State who was doing a study about gamers and what they eat, and what they order on Uber Eats. Getting all those people in the room and having them actually have open conversations where you actually had, the opportunity to take that information that would have wound up in a academic journal on a shelf gathering dust and actually give it to the folks who direct public opinion. It's the win with the dietary guidelines is not one to be taken lightly. There was a lot of work on all levels to get it to where it is. And, the thing that all of us need to bear in mind and remember as we move forward is just because we've had this win doesn't mean we can stop and relax. We've got it here, and we have to continue working and working together with industry partners, but also working together outside of the box with folks that you might not necessarily think about, in order to keep the wins stacking up. But that concludes what I have as far as council activities are concerned.
Good. Mindy, you got anything you need to report on, or
No, it's
staying
been-
busy?
it snowed in January. Staying busy breaking ice and feeding cattle. No, just been getting ready for coming up for the area conferences. Got the Women in Ag Convention in March. Got 2 farm days coming up, in end of March and April. FFA convention, it's a busy time of year. Just getting with it and, put a lot of miles on the old truck, so.
Yeah. All right, now, Tillman, we got just a couple of other things. One of the things is, to approve the Alpha Gal. I just need, what exactly is it that you need from us?
So as far as with this contract is concerned, it had gone back and forth between our legal and at the department and the university till the agreement could check all the boxes as far as all the legal requirements, what the requirements in order to maintain that qualified state beef council and everything is concerned. That said, what we wanted to do was present it to the council so that all of you had the opportunity to review it, make any remarks if you had any, and then of course upon your approval, sign it, and we could file it away to be able to release that funding, that project.
And guys, this is something, you know, we've already approved all of that. It's just, lots of legal jargon. Rob looks like that he needs to read all of that with his fancy glasses, but, basically, just to give a download, it's just taken a little while because both sides have had to get all that done. Janelle talked about a lot of that earlier, so anyway, I guess we need this in a form of a motion to go ahead and please.
I'll make a motion, we approve it as presented.
Okay, we got a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you much. Amy, are you still on by any chance?
Yes, sir, I am.
Okay. I don't know, I would like just a little bit of an update, about our social media presence again, like Facebook things. And what have you found out about that? Because, you know, thinking about, you know, having this event here that we sponsored and a lot of the dietitian things coming up or the barbecue thing that we're gonna have space or even the cattleman stuff. What do we need to do to make sure that we get more of a presence on social media as far as that stuff goes? I know we talked about it last time, trying to share some things before major holidays and what you could get done. What, do you have any update for us on that?
Well, it's funny, I was just texting Tillman a couple of times about getting photos while he's down there. But yes, we actually have been working with our department social media specialist, and we have got access for him now so that he can get to all the national assets that they have, and they do quarterly as well. So we're working with him to come up with a plan to have those kind of push outs that they have nationally quarterly, but then as well, it's just getting good photos like while y'all are down there. It will be great to get them of Able and anything there that's good for photos, whether it's you all presenting an award, but then also over at Four States Fair to get some photos while you're there to see what we're actually sponsoring. And so then we can get those posted.
Okay. Well, I just, I think it's very important that, you know, we do a lot of these things to get out and see people, but more we can, if we can get it beforehand on a lot of them, that we might have, you know, somebody, even so much as, and I don't know how this all falls in. I know that the department has a way, you know, that they promote when our meetings are. I get an email now when every commodity division in the state, but, you know, I think it would be nice if we could just, you know, use our social media a little more, invite producers to come to an event like this, just anything that we can do. It's a free way of promoting beef and what we're doing. I think that we just need to, any way that we can help on that. You know, I think the main thing we kind of talked about initially is just before those big holidays, you know, I think it was very important. We missed some key times about eating a steak on Christmas Day instead of having a turkey or chicken and dressing or whatever. But I think that, boy, we're really missing the boat on trying to get, promote what we're doing in the beef industry and what we're sponsoring a lot of. So if we can work on that, it'd sure be great. So
yes, well, hopefully with him helping us out on that, we can get much more of a plan in place for those. But I would also encourage anytime you all are out, because we're not going to be everywhere, if you have good photos that are being made, and like at the university events or cattlemen's events that we may not be at, I would encourage you. iPhones make great photos now. So, you know, make a photo and send it to us with just a little telling us what it is, and then we can post those as well.
okay, that will be awesome. I think, you know, Mike and Kay, both of y'all are are very good, at things like this. And Sam, I'll give him a little bit of a break. He's probably not the social media expert of the group, but, I would say that, that is a challenge for me and all the rest of us to try to do as good as we can with that. So,
I will do my best.
all right. Thank you. Has anybody else got anything before? I'm gonna let Miss Lisa tell us just a little bit about what's going on here, but is there any other major business? We've got to set a date for, have we already set the date, have we? For
Yes,
the next meeting? So we're good. Man, we're on top of things. When will our funding requests start going out? Do you know what,
So I've got the application and everything filled out, got it all built. I've submitted that to Director Fisk and to Amy for them to both look at so we can get those approved. As soon as we can get it approved, it'll go live.
okay.
So,
So, like I say, if anybody out there has anything that, make a project, and, I told, Chris, I said, hey, he said that he would love to be able to make a proposal, to bring before us or anything new that just promotes beef and fits in the guidelines. The more we get to, I don't know if I want to be like the soybean guys. They were telling me next week they had 160 proposals that there's coming up. It might take them 3 days to do all that, they're at this point. So, anything else before we, let Miss Lisa? Okay, y'all got anything?
No.
Mike,
Chairman.
the next, yes, ma'am.
Well, I was just going to say, I thought it was very interesting as well. Yes, we have had a lot of really good proposals coming in for all of our boards this year. We initiated having them fill out the Cognito form online, and just wanted to let you all know that Corn and Grain also just sponsored a membership with USMEF. So
Yes. Hey, and that is very important to both industries. And, for a long time, Farm Bureau and the Beef Council were the only members in the state of Arkansas, and the USMEF puts a lot of dollars in producers' pockets in the state of Arkansas that had in the beef industry. And yes, I'd heard that, and the corn producers, they can't sell their product if they don't have a cow to eat it. I think the soybean might have a proposal very similar to the corn. If those kind of things are very important. The more you get, the more it's going to help everybody. The producers' dollars go further all the way around.
both the corn producers and the soybean producers are substantial supporters of USMEF.
100%. They could.
That's
On
value
the
added.
national level, the corn and soybean, they actually provide a lot more funding than the beef industry does as a whole, because they've got to be able to sell that product, and that product is what is the bottom line of our production.
It's value added.
It is value added, yes, sir. So that is a very good thing, and so we that's good to point out. So, all right, at this point, Miss Lisa, if you will come up here. First off, let's give Lisa a big round of applause for hosting us. I told somebody, I said, man, this is awesome to get to come here. We came, how long has it been, Lisa? 4 or 5 years ago?
5 years ago.
5 years ago, and it was great to come in. We got several new council members that hadn't got to come before, and this is with this event, I think this is an awesome place to have a meeting. Gives us great opportunity. Rob got to participate in helping out on some of the things during the contest wise, and it's very nice facility. We thank you for getting to come there. So
Thank you, guys. We are super happy to have you. We appreciate your support on ABLE. This has been a great event for us. We've had a wonderful couple of days working with everybody. It's come together way better than I think anybody expected. It's kind of nerve-wracking the first time you do something like this with all the separate entities. So we're glad the kids had a great time last night. So we're super happy you guys are here. After the meeting, if you come downstairs, Kristen is gonna take you guys over to the Ag Learning Center and let you actually see what the Beef Council helps us produce for the kids in our education building. So I won't keep you too long on that, but if you guys want to go downstairs after you finish up, she'll take you over. We'll walk over to the Ag Learning Center so you can actually see the center.
Good, that's awesome. With that, could get a motion to adjourn.
So much.
Got a motion, second, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Motion carries. Thank you, again, Lisa, for having us. We're gonna go over there and have a tour.
Recording stopped. It's awesome. See that. It is an awesome site. You wonder how they got